Hello fellow modelers and silent fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Banger is back with another one of its notorious episodes. Another day, another episode, guys. Today we have part 2 of our Flak 88 anti-tank or anti-air gun. And oh boy, what I have done again, I have to talk about it a little bit. So, in the previous episode, I have put it together, the base, you know, the thing with the 4 legs that the gun sits on top. And I hope that I would be able to wrap up a second episode, a smaller second episode, with the assembly of the gun. But you know, not poor planning. I haven't planned enough. I haven't planned enough ahead. So in this episode we take care. Let me see how many. 1, 2, 3. Another 4 steps. We made it all the way up to step 8, and I have a mountain of parts in front of me. This is the usual time when I just do sub-assemblies and leave them aside in order for me to attach them later onto the whole thing. And this is the time that I always, you know, have the doubt that I am going to create a whole thing from the jigsaw puzzle that I see in front of me right now. But anyway, I am sure that I am gonna succeed. But you know, there is always that doubt, quote unquote. So in today's episode, as I've said, we work on another 4 steps. I was planning once again to do a smaller duration video, but as always this one goes south. I have to admit that whenever I am behind the camera, things tend to go slowly, or you know, video duration tends to stacks up, go higher and higher. Anyway, what is done is done. Once again, we have a big episode in front of us. You guys know the drill. Grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, crack the mandatory cold one, or probably 2 cold ones, because as I've said, a longer duration video as usual. And let's see what me and Past George have put it together in this episode for you guys. Okay, first part of the Deadly 88 build is currently uploading, so it is time for me to start working on part 2, guys. Fun fact, I told you that I won't upload a big video. I thought that I had a little footage, but it turned out to be 1 hour long again. Anyway, we are now on part number 2. We are exactly where we left the whole thing, the whole assembly in the base, and now we are moving towards step number 5 of the instructions. Now let me move this thing away and grab the instructions to talk about them, to talk a little bit about them. So what exactly do we have on step number 5? Okay, on step number 5 we have assembly of gun base parts, as the step indicates. Now over here we have different options for Flak 36, like you can see over here, and options for Flak 37, as you can see over here and at the upper corner. 36, as I've said in my previous episode, is the anti-tank. 37 is the anti-air gun. So we are opting for 36 clearly. So which means that we need to make this one, and that one. Now we will move downwards because these are also these are also included on part number 5, but we are gonna talk about those later. So I am going to instantly start cleaning parts, the parts needed for those 3 sub-assemblies, and I am going to be back. Okay, let's see if I can actually film this without making a mess and keeping the things in frame and all these, necessary things to have a successful film, a successful video. So, in front of you, probably there and there. In front of you, we have the 3 sub-assemblies from step number 5, all in small mountains of parts. So I am going to instantly grab them and start assembling them. So here, these 2 parts consist the fuse box as the instructions state. So there is 2 holes, there is 2 knobs over here that correspond to those 2 holes. Simple as that. We just need to apply glue and meet the parts together. Of course, as I've said, without creating a mess. Now let me grab a clamp to clamp it firmly, because I will need to sand the excess of the excess on this part. Oh no, come on. Come on. It won't work. Okay, clamp won't catch this part anyway. Let's leave this aside. I am going to take care of the seam lines later. So, fuse box is down. Now we move on to the battery case. Battery case consists of these, 5 parts. So we need to hold this one first, like so. We need to grab the other. You can clearly see the parts are keyed, so you won't be able to do a mistake. Luckily, Tamiya kits are idiot proof. That's one of their pros. On the other hand, they are kinda overpriced, if you ask me. Although I kinda like the company, I tend not to buy so many Tamiya kits as I used to, mainly because they don't take me so much time to assemble them, and because I find them pricey for the stuff they contain inside the box. You can have another kit a little bit more expensive, but with photo etch parts, etc. included inside the box. So, okay. If you can look closely over here at this part, it has 2 protrusions on the upper part, one on each side. These protrusions need to meet this one, exactly where my nail is. So keep that in mind, not to place the part in the opposite direction. Okay, and now we need to add those 2 little thingies. Let me know by the way guys, let me know your opinion about Tamiya kits. Is it the same as mine, or you have a different opinion? I am curious to hear from you. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I hate them or I won't buy them again. It is that I just prefer to buy another brand's kit, mainly because of the box contains. If I am to pay 40 euros for a kit, might as well pay 50 and grab a dragon, which has double the parts and photo edits included, which apparently is going to take me more time to assemble, so more value for money. Okay, we have attached those two things, and here is the orientation of them, how you need to make them, face, on which direction they need to face, one and the other one. And battery case is ready. Now on to the third part, which I don't know what it is, but it looks important. So over here we need to grab this part, hold it on this direction. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky to do in front of the camera. Now we need to grab this one. Oops. And attach it like so. Oh, no. No, stay. You stay there. Okay, now we move on to the other side, which is this part. Will go. Maximum concentration here. That's why I'm not talking. Believe me guys, it is not easy. For me at least. Oh, come on. Why am I so flimsy today? Okay. And now we need to attach this part over here on top. I wasn't sure if I had to remove this piece, but looks like that I had to. Let me take care of that. This is what happens when you cut a lot of pieces from a sprue and you don't pay attention. Now this is going to remain on video and haunt me for the rest of the eternity, like my other mistakes. Me and my black humor. Okay. Looks okay-ish. Now it looks great. So three parts done, and now we need to move forward. Let me move them aside because I'm going to bring the instructions closer because I need to show you a few more stuff. So wobbly mode, we just completed half of step number 5. Now we need to move on to the recuperator cylinder, as it says over here, and the equilibrator. We need to make 2 equilibrators, but keep in mind, if you are making the Flak 36, you are using part A48. If you are making Flak 37, you have to use part A19. Why is that? As the instructions state over here, parts A19 and A47 are each of different length. When gun is set at high angle, use longer part A19. On the other hand, when gun is set at a 0 angle, use a shorter part A48. These parts are interchangeable according to your imaginative combat scenes, and they do not cement either of them. Okay, so in my case, in my combat scene, we need to use part A48. We are landed on second part of step number 5, my second part of step number 5, and over here, as I said before, we need to make 2 equilibrators. God damn, I cannot even spell that. And 1 recuperator cylinder, 1 recuperator, probably half recuperator cylinder. So I'm gonna start with that. The recuperator cylinder is this part. Together with that, over here it has 2 holes. I have sanded it down because it had a mold, an injection mold mark, and I wanted it to sit flush with this area. So in order for us to attach this, we have to keep the parts like so, as you can see, probably. Let's apply glue. Nothing more for me to tell over here, to take note, you know. So we just need to line up the holes with the nubs over here, probably somewhere. Oh, come on, I can feel it. Yep, like so. And that's probably half the recuperator cylinder. So we're gonna leave this aside for the time being, and we're gonna move on to the equilibrators. Yep, equilibrators. So I have made one off camera. This is an equilibrator for the Flak 36. If it was for Flak 37, it would be longer. And here is the parts that you need to make the other one. To make both of them, to be honest with you, but in my case, to make the other one. So let's start. As you can see, we have 3 holes. They correspond with these 3 pointy things, nubs. And I have to be extra careful because I almost left a fingerprint in the previous part. Almost. Yep. And excuse me guys for using my fingers. I know they get in the way, but it is easier for me to grab cylindrical parts with my fingers than the tweezers. And so over here at the back, where is the hole, we need to grab this part, and we need to not to lose it, of course. That's a good start, not to lose the part. And we need to insert it over here at the back, at the rear. Let's see. Come on. Yep, like so. Insert it. Yes. And of course the remaining piece, which is this one, which the hole is off center, will be needed to insert it over here. I expected for something like that to happen, you know, to find an off-centered hole in a part. As I've said, Kit is older than me. It's not a surprise to have stuff like that. Anyway, with a little bit of TLC, we can take care of that. And of course, that's the second equilibrator. So I will need to take some extra time and sand the seam line flush as best as I can without flattening the piece. That's a little bit tricky for me. I know it's a basic modeling skill, but it is always tricky for me. So I am going to leave this one aside to completely dry, and I am going to work onto this one, you know, sand it flat. But these thing I am going to do it off camera. When I will return, we are going to work onto part number 6 of the instruction. Let me grab them to tell you exactly what we are going to do. So, okay, we have several notes to take over here. Of course, since, oh no, wrong pencil. Of course, in our case, we don't need this one, and we need this one, because it is, as I've said, for Flak 36. Another thing that we need to note is that part A23 must be set open when loading cells. So do not cement this part. So this part over here, which is the bridge, it's part of the bridge mechanism, needs to be open in our case, because probably I am going to depict it as like a servant of the gun will load a cell in it just before firing. And we also need to note that this part, A25, needs to be glued, inserted, you know, over here, and needs to be glued as well. Now, how I am going to proceed. I am going to make all these sub-assemblies separate from the rest of the thing. This will be another sub-assembly, you know, the gun barrel, the two halves of the gun barrel. I am going to glue them, of course, off camera, and I am going to sand them down because we're gonna have a nasty seam line in the middle. So I am going to right now sand the equilibrators. I am going to glue the gun barrel off camera and sand it down as well, you know, sand the seam line, and I am going to be back to show you the assembly of this one, and then I'm going to attach the gun barrel, the sanded gun barrel, and the muzzle brake. Hopefully this made sense, because most of the time I don't believe what I am saying is making sense, because I translate Greek into English, which is not always, you know, the best thing, but this is the way I am thinking. Sorry guys. So we're gonna see what will happen next. So guys, after a lot of sanding, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot, here we are. Here we have them, the two recuperator cylinders. No, sorry, the two equilibrators. God damn. And the gun barrel needs a little bit more TLC, but we are almost there. And now it is the time for us to make the gun barrel one big assembly, you know, make it one piece. Okay, looks better now. So let's start from the easy things first. Here, this part, I called it muzzle brake. It is not a muzzle brake. It goes all the way up until here. So excuse my mistake, my usual mistake, because as always I rush to, you know, to name things. I don't know why I do that, but anyway I do it. So we need to fit this one here. Now we need to grab this part and place it over here, you know, slide it here, exactly like so. So glue to that as well. And now we need to move backwards to the bridge mechanism, but let's do that. Let's leave the, you know, this assembly down. Now over here at the bridge, you see this square indentation on the top. This corresponds with this part, with the level, you know, the bridge mechanism handle. That's how I'm going to name it. So we need to grab this one and the handle itself, and we need to fit this over here like so. And I will probably apply a little bit more glue here and there just for good measure. And now we need to attach this assembly over here at the rest of the gun barrel. So we need to hold it like this. As you can see, it has it is keyed. It has certain holes that will help us attach the bridge properly. And for this part I am going to use contacta, strong bond, stronger than Tamiya. That's what the rumors say, and since they say that, I will believe them. Probably more experienced modelers than me made these rumors, so why not? Okay, and then we have this part. Now this part, we don't need to glue it. As I've said, we need to keep it open like so, because I will depict a soldier trying to load a new shell into the bridge itself. So I am going to leave this one aside for the time being. I'm gonna keep it in a safe place, of what I believe it is a safe place, to be honest with you, and I am going to return back. So let's store it and store the rest of our stuff, because my workbench is full of small sub-assemblies. It is like a huge puzzle right now. Let's move the gun barrel out of the way. Let's first give you a closer look, and then let's move it out of the way. So, end of step number 6, you have to be looking at something like that. And even better, you know, and even better if you take a little bit more time to sand it down. I will of course do that off camera. Anyway, let's leave this aside. As I've said before, let's let it cure, and let's move on to step number 7. Let's see what awaits us here. So step number 7 is fixing of the side plate parts, and we have a note over here. Install various parts on the right and left side plates. Cement only right side to maintain box after firing recuperator holder and battery case to the main box. Fuck, this one I didn't understood it. Let me see that again. Let me read that. Right and left side. Okay. Cement only right side plate. Ah, okay. Ah, this means that cement only right side. Okay. So we have various parts over here. Let's erase the ones that we don't need. Flak 37, nope. Flak 37, nope. So these two are out of the way right now. Flak 37 as well over here. It's a no for our case. And Flak 37 over here. It's a no for our case again. So right off the get-go, we got rid 1, 2, 3, 4 parts or sub-assemblies. So good enough. Okay guys, let's move on to step number 7. As I've said in the previous clip, I am going to proceed with it as usual in smaller steps, sorry. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna assemble this side plate, the left, and we're gonna assemble the right side plate as well, except if I am saying them the opposite side. No, this one is the right and this one is the left, so according to the instructions. Anyway, I have cleaned the parts, they are all in front of us. Let's start with the difficult one first. So let's leave this aside and let's grab this one. Let's grab our glue. I am unorganized as always because this is another day, another clip. So let's see where everything needs to fall. Okay. Okay. So we have these two parts which are similar. They go onto, oh my god, flimsy fingers. They go on top of these two places. As you can see, each one of the places has two knobs, and of course, as expected, the back of the parts has two holes except of the mold marks. So let's see. Okay, one down, one to go. No. Oh, come on. Okay. 2 down, none to go. Now we need 2. Okay. Place this one, which looks like an astrological, tool. A map finding tool over here. I cannot remember the name of the map finding tool, but it resembles me in my head. No. There we have it. Probably, hopefully I wasn't fine. Hopefully. Okay. And now we need to grab this one, which has the two big, tabs over here that they correspond into those two holes. Let's see. Okay. Wonderful. Everything falls in place like it should. And now we have those two tiny parts, small parts, they are not tiny, and they go one over here, one over here as I've said, and the other one on top of the part that we have attached just a few seconds ago. Sorry guys, I am blowing the dust from the parts because I have cleaned them up, of course, before I attach them. I always clean them up, at least I try, you know. Okay, and we have this one ready. So we're gonna leave this aside and we're gonna move on to the other, side plate. So onto the other side plate we need to attach a previous sub-assembly that we have done, which is none other than this. I'll give you a closer look in about a second or so. So this sub-assembly from step number 5, this is the nameless sub-assembly of step number 5. So this one, okay, these two, 1 and 2 corresponds to these two, and contactor time. Like so. So with that done, we have both side plates complete, and now we need to move on to this one. So we have to clean these parts and we have to grab the battery case from battery case sub-assembly from step number 5. Okay, let's move onwards with our step number 7. This is another sub-assembly. I reckon that this is the whole the base assembly that will sit in the rotating cylinder, you know, over here. This is probably gonna come and sit here so we can rotate our gun. And what you see in front of you is the parts that we will have to attach onto it. Now let's start from the easy ones first. We need to grab this one. Over here you can see the square that is going to line it up. I am going to use once again contactor for obvious reasons. Obvious, you know. For reasons I have told several times. And this is going to come and stay here. This is going to be its new house for eternity. Hopefully. So apart that, let me grab another pair of tweezers so I can hold it. Now we need to attach these two slingshot shaped stuff over here, one on this groove and one on the other. As you can see, again, this is keyed. So we won't be able to make a mistake and it will sit exactly where it needs to. And as it should sit, stay in place. Okay. And now over here at the middle we need to attach the battery case assembly, that sub-assembly, sorry, that we have from step number 5. Now I have kept it over here. Let me remind you which one is the battery case assembly. It's this one that looks like this, and over here is the connection point if my camera wants to focus, which of course it doesn't want to focus. And of course I was spilling glue in all over my cutting mat, but anyway, that's the least of my concerns right now. Let's attach it while we are here. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Now we will grab a sub-assembly from step number 7, which is none other than the side plate parts, one of the side plate parts. And we will grab this one. Yep, we will grab this one, and we will place it over here. Good thing that we are attaching previous sub-assemblies, because my bench is cluttered with them and I really wanna make them one piece. And now we have to place one small little tiny button. I'm gonna name it a button, but it's not a button. Oh, come on, this little thing over here. I reckon that this is going to be tricky. Let me make sure that that's the spot. Yep, that should be the spot. Wish me luck. Oh. Is it or is it not? No. Looks like I was mistaken, guys, and no, I wasn't mistaken. And I am placing it in a wrong direction, and I'm gonna tell you how I know. Let's see if I can reverse my mistake. Okay. Okay. And now here we have a proper example of how good instructions save your day. Give me a moment and I'll show you what I mean by good instructions saving our day. Okay, first of all, with this step we complete with this done, we complete step number 7 of the instructions. This is what you are supposed to be looking at exactly. So let me leave this aside, and now I am gonna show you how I knew that I was positioning the piece wrong. From here you can see that the hold part goes faces the outer side, faces inwards over here at this place. And here you can see that I have there is 2 holes. I tried to place it over here at the beginning, but it was a mistake. You have to place it over here. Oh, I was lucky, and props to Tamiya for adding photos on top over here at the side of photos of how the things should look. Now let's see what we have at step number 8. Okay, so now we need to assemble the gun cradle, and over here it has a note that's saying when fixing part 822, check well which end is front and rear. Part 822 is this one with the teeth, and over here we have a diagram that shows us which is the front and which is the rear. And it's also another note that's saying when fixing part 822, check well which end is front and rear. Cement it in correct position after checking the same of this part in the diagram. Okay, onwards to step number 8. This is the 6-part assembly of the gun cradle. So let's see now. Now, as you can see, we have 4 holes, 1 in the lower side, two in the lower side and 2 in the upper side. We're gonna attach this part on the holes that are located in the upper side, if I am not mistaken. Let me let me be sure. Yep, no, to the lower ones. Sorry guys. Ooh, yep. So let's grab this one. The correct orientation in my case, since I hold the parts like that, is this. Okay. Just a little smudge of glue, and make sure, yep, here. Now I know that this looks flimsy and not correctly positioned, but it will be correctly positioned when I attach this one on top. But we have to place these tiny pieces on top of this one. So first tiny piece goes like here, it goes over here. Let me grab my tweezers, yep. And it goes like so. Yep, place it correctly. There. Okay. and this tiny piece goes over here at the back. Like so. Now this whole subassembly will have to go on top of this subassembly and sandwich this little piece, that the teeth piece, you know, not this little piece. I have to be a little bit nimble in order for me to get it right. Yeah, I wish I was nimble. Like, I wish I was precise as well. Come on, come on. Oh, yeah. And we have also to place a part over here at the front, which is none other than, whoa, this little thing. Now this will have to go like so. I'm gonna give you a closer look in a moment, like so. You know, having this corner, you know, this triangle pointing diagonally this direction, that direction. So now that I have it assembled like this, I will run a tiny bit of glue over here from the inner side. I am going, of course, to hold it in place until the glue cures, and when the glue is cured, I will sand the seam line located over here at the bottom, sorry. So guys, I have just checked my footage and looks like we have gathered enough. Once again, more than enough. Anyway, with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode. On our next episode, we will continue working on this pile of stuff, and hopefully we will reduce the amount of, stranded parts on the bench. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and stick along for the next one. Before I go, I wanna thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to all my subscribers, old and new ones. You guys are the best, and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. Now, for the newcomers out there, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Daemon, signing out.